She spent 730 days without once stepping past the front door. Then, on a quiet Sunday afternoon, someone looked up and found her at the top of a tree. Her name was Willow, a small brown tabby with striped fur the color of dry autumn leaves and eyes so wide and green they looked like they were always asking a question. For 2 full years, she did not leave the couch, not for the mailman, not for the sound of rain, not even for the smell of food on the counter. She lived in one corner of one room, and everyone who knew her believed that corner was the only world she would ever want. They were wrong. Willow's story did not begin on that couch. It began in a cardboard box, left behind a gas station on a cold October morning. She was maybe 8 weeks old, soaked from the night before, too small to survive another one alone. A woman named Claire found her while pumping gas, shivering under the box flap, and did not think twice. She wrapped her in a jacket and drove straight to the nearest shelter. The shelter workers said she was one of the most frightened kittens they had ever intaked. She would not eat in front of people. She would not let anyone touch her paws. When volunteers reached toward her cage, she pressed herself into the back corner and did not move for hours. They labeled her file with one word: shy. Not aggressive, not sick, just shy, in a way that made most adopters walk right past her cage without stopping. Claire came back 3 days later. She had not planned to adopt a cat that week. She had not planned to adopt a cat at all. But she kept thinking about the box, and the shivering, and the way the kitten had looked at her like she had never once been chosen for anything. So she signed the papers and brought her home, and she named her Willow, because willow trees bend in the wind, but they never break. The first year was quiet in a way that worried Claire more than it comforted her. Willow ate, she slept, she used her litter box without complaint, but she never explored. She never chased a toy across the floor. She never sat in the window and watched birds the way other cats do. She picked one corner of the living room couch and she stayed there, day after day, like the rest of the apartment simply did not exist for her. Friends who visited would ask, gently, if something was wrong with her. Claire always gave the same answer. Nothing is wrong with her. She's just careful. She learned a long time ago that the world doesn't always want her in it, and now she's making sure it never gets the chance to prove that again. But careful is not the same as content, and Claire knew it. She started small, a cardboard box near the window so Willow could watch the world without leaving her corner. A blanket that smelled like Claire moved an inch closer to the couch every week. Then, months later, the sound of a harness clip set down on the floor and left there, untouched, just so Willow could learn it wasn't a threat. Weeks passed. The harness sat on the floor. Willow sniffed it once, twice, then ignored it entirely. Claire almost gave up on the idea more than once. Almost. If you've ever loved an animal who was too afraid to love you back right away, you already know how long that kind of patience takes. That's exactly why stories like Willow's need to be told. So stick around, because what happens next is the part nobody expected. One evening in early spring, Claire clipped the harness on for the first time. Willow froze. She did not run, she did not fight it. She simply stood there, completely still, as if she was waiting to see whether the world was about to hurt her again. Claire sat down on the floor beside her and did not move either. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Willow took one step, then another.
It took 3 more weeks before Willow allowed the front door to open with her still standing in the room. It took another 2 before she let Claire carry her, harness clipped, out onto the porch. She did not explore. She pressed herself against Claire's chest and stayed there, eyes wide, watching a world she had spent 2 years pretending did not exist. Neighbors started to notice the quiet woman carrying a small tabby cat outside every evening, always slow, always patient, never further than the yard. Some of them assumed the cat was simply too scared to be let down. They were not entirely wrong, but they had no idea what was coming. On a Saturday afternoon in early June, Claire set Willow down on the grass, harness leash loose in her hand, and turned for just a moment to close the gate behind her. When she turned back, Willow was gone. Her heart dropped. She called the name into the yard, into the bushes, toward the fence line, and heard nothing back. For nearly 10 minutes, Claire searched every corner of that small backyard, certain she had made a terrible mistake, certain the cat who had spent 2 years too afraid to leave a couch had just bolted straight into danger. Then she heard it, a soft, curious meow coming from somewhere above her head. She looked up, and there was Willow, perched on a low branch of the old oak tree at the edge of the yard, tail flicking gently, eyes calm in a way Claire had never once seen before. Not scared, not frozen, curious. The leash trailed loosely behind her, still clipped to the harness, swaying slightly with every small movement she made. A neighbor walking by slowed down and stared, certain he was seeing things. A tabby cat who used to hide from an open door was now sitting 8 feet off the ground like she had done it 100 times before. Claire stood beneath that tree and cried, right there in the grass, because in that single moment she understood something she had hoped for but never quite believed. Willow was not broken. She had simply been waiting for enough safety to finally be brave. It took another 20 minutes to coax her down with a piece of chicken and a very patient voice, but from that day forward, everything changed. Willow started asking for the leash by walking to the door on her own. She started sniffing every bush in the yard like she had 2 years of curiosity to make up for. She learned to climb, carefully, one branch at a time, always glancing back to make sure Claire was still there. People still meet Willow today and assume she must be some rare breed of adventure cat, bred for the outdoors, born fearless. They have no idea that for 2 entire years, she never once left a couch. They don't know about the cardboard box behind the gas station, or the shelter cage nobody stopped for, or the months it took just to let a harness sit on the floor without flinching. They only see the cat she is now, climbing, curious, unafraid, and never the long, quiet road it took her to get her there. Claire says it best. Willow was never scared of the world. She was scared it would take something from her again. All she ever needed was proof that it wouldn't. Some animals don't need to be rescued from danger. They need to be rescued from fear, one small, patient step at a time, for as long as it takes. There is no shortcut for that kind of trust, and there shouldn't be. It has to be earned, quietly, branch by branch, until one day the couch is just a couch again, and not the only safe place left in the world. So tell me honestly, would you have had the patience to wait 2 years for a cat to simply feel safe? Or would you have given up long before she ever climbed that tree? Let me know in the comments below.